Let me tell you about one of the coolest people in rock and roll. The guy who existed across genres and was loved and respected by one and all. Let's talk about Motörhead and their enigmatic lead singer, Lemmy Kilmister. Ian Fraser Kilmister was born Christmas Eve, December 1945, in Stoke-on-Trent, a small manufacturing city situated somewhere between Birmingham and Manchester. His father had been a chaplain during the Second World War and left their family just a few months after Lemmy was born. He got his nickname because he used to borrow money a lot, and he'd say something like, "Lemmy a quid, would ya?" He actually wasn't too sure himself where he got the name from. He spent his teenage years in North Wales, where the closest major city was Liverpool, and Lemmy used to travel there to see bands and even saw the Beatles at the Cavern Club around 1962, something that inspired him to start playing guitar himself. Eventually he moved to London, lived in a communal house for musicians and artists, and he ended up becoming roommates with Noel Redding, who at the time was playing bass for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Through Noel, Lemmy got to join them on tour as a roadie, which was a hugely influential experience for him. In 1971, he joined the band Hawkwind, playing bass and sometimes singing for what would be one of their biggest hits, Silver Machine. But when the band was on tour in North America, Lemmy was arrested at the Canadian-American border for amphetamine possession. As a result, he was fired from Hawkwind in 1975, and he decided to start a band of his own, named after the last song that he wrote for Hawkwind, Motörhead. Motörhead were kind of interesting. Media didn't really know what to do with them. They were too punk for metal, too metal for punk. Lemmy was extremely supportive of the punk rock scene in London in the late 70s, giving a lot of those bands opportunities to play with them, and sometimes even helping musicians find housing and gigs. He was loved everywhere he went because he just defined authenticity. And this combination of elements of both punk and metal would help pave the way for several subgenres. In 1980, Motörhead released Ace of Spades, and it was instantly iconic. The way he played the bass was kind of interesting. He strummed it like a rhythm guitar, which made this insane distorted sound, which matched perfectly with that growl of a voice that he had. The title track was actually huge in the UK too, even in the mainstream. It peaked at number 15 on the UK singles charts. Lemmy always had this live fast, die old attitude. He drank hard, did lots of substances, and he really never stopped right up until the end. In the 90s and 2000s, he played with everyone from the Foo Fighters to Slash and Ozzy Osbourne. In the 2010s, Lemmy's health started to decline, and he said he switched from whiskey to vodka, which is so hilarious and on brand. Motörhead released their final album in August 2015, and Lemmy would pass away later that year at 70 years old. When he died, he was subject to countless tributes from dozens of some of the most famous artists in the industry, and Ace of Spades found itself right back on the UK charts.